I'm David Griffin. It's the 3rd of January 2018. I'm here at Denby Cricket Club with
Garry Cresswell,
Simon Brown,
Ian Sherwood,
Dave Cherry.
Lovely. Thanks for joining me, gents and young lady. This is part of the Heritage Project. We're talking to people about their involvement in cricket. So we'll start over on the left-hand side with you, Gary. When did you first get involved in playing cricket at Denby?
Well, some would argue a couple of years ago, but I started coming up here in 1986.
And we do what, to watch or to play?
It's quite weird. When I first started, there wasn't a lot of youth cricket in general, so I started coming up, and I think it took 2 years before I even got a game. But it was coming up and doing that, the under-18s training on a Monday, and then getting more and more involved and just getting practicing, really.
And were you local?
Yeah, just from Kilburn, just from down the road. I guess a lot of it started coming up here by accident. I like playing cricket, but it was normally French cricket on the back garden with my dad, not really anything structured.
Yeah.
So I started coming up here, and then after a couple of years started playing in the under-18s, and started playing in the second team then. And then luckily we had, a few years after coming up, we started a third team, so I got regular senior cricket from then on, and then they couldn't get rid of me.
Excellent. When did you first start then? When did you first
a year after Gary.
Right.
I was 12 at the time, and the reason I started coming up here was, I don't know if he was the chairman or president, was Michael Turner, and he lived across the road from where my mum and dad live, and I was basically playing on the drive at the side of the house. The ball was going over onto his garden and onto the road, and he went, get your head up there, before something happens kind of thing. And I came up, started training on a Monday night with Gary and people of his age, and played under 18s, and then started into the third team. And
just before I move on to the other two gentlemen, was cricket at school an option then, or was it?
See, we both went to John Flamstead.
Right.
And in all my time at school, we played one.
Right.
One game.
So the club became
pretty much
the only place you could get a game.
A handful of games at school, or something like that.
Yeah. And over to you, gents. What was your first involvement at Denby?
My first involvement was in 1998. I was originally a Michelova lad, and I played for the Royal British Legion there. Very small squad, and they disbanded in that year. I was living in Belper at that time, just moved, and my next door neighbour was the first team captain, so he told me about Denby, told me about the fact that we were going to be starting the fourth team. Would I be interested? So I said, yeah, absolutely great, want to keep going playing cricket. So that's where I joined Rugby Denby.
And your first involvement here?
1999. I brought my eldest lad, but at the time he was 6. He came on junior training. I just heard about the place and thought I'd come. We'd recently moved from Loughborough. I've been playing at Loughborough, so I came up here. At the time I wasn't playing, I was injured. So I brought my eldest up. He got involved playing, and the next thing I'm playing, and I've been ever since.
What I'm interested in is was the standard that you could play at of import, or was it just being able to play a game? Because you said you talked about wanting to just keep playing cricket. So
yeah, I mean, I just wanted to keep involved in the game, and the opportunity came up. They just started a new team, and it was in its infancy. I wanted to get involved on that side, and it literally was about 3 adults and 8 youngsters. We got thrashed every week. That was not an issue. The fact we were actually playing, it was getting youngsters involved, and those youngsters have gone on places. Some have represented Derbyshire at a younger level, so it had its grassroots, and we've developed from there.
have you been involved in the development of young players? Because obviously I'm hearing everything about Denby is the first team particularly is very youth orientated. So have you had any input into that as a group or as individuals?
I've managed like a junior side through me steps from playing from like under 13s all the way up to under 18s. I've looked after that side.
Yeah, I managed the team when Liam and Dan played in it.
Right.
My eldest.
All right, so you didn't do a bad job there then, because
Well, I don't know if they listened or
Obviously not.
don't do as I do or something like that. Yeah.
So from a playing perspective, so what leagues are you playing in now? Just if I can just go left to right again.
By my time here, I've played in most of them.
Have you?
was very lucky when I started playing in the second team and then the third team. And when the third team started, we pretty much started in the bottom league. We're very lucky to go up the leagues, and then I played Premier Division, First Division, Second Division, Third.
What was Premier League cricket like for you then? I suppose you start off here just as a kid coming down because you've got nothing else to do, and then one day you're playing Premier League cricket against a good standard.
Before I started coming up here, it used to be playing cricket on the back field with a bat that my granddad made, and then I was lucky I played at Derbyshire, played at Trent Bridge, both through, playing with Denby, played against international cricketers.
Give us some names.
Chris Lewis.
Yeah.
That was it's quite a funny story. We were playing at a final at Boots Ground in Nottingham, and I worked in Nottingham. So I nipped to McDonald's on the way just before the match and got there, red hot day, and there's Chris Lewis warming up in the nets, and there's me walking past him with a Big Mac.
Who won?
We did.
Oh.
I can't remember actually. Mick could always know. Mick knows every game everyone's ever played it.
What sort of opponents were you up against?
I mostly played third team cricket, a few games in a couple of seasons in second team, but mostly third team cricket.
But anyone come up through the ranks while you were there? Anyone that from Denby? As well
I
as
played
opposition?
quite a few games with Pete when he
Burgoyne,
was lad, and Daniel and Liam and
a good claim to fame for the club. Dave will know very well. We were lucky. We didn't play in Australia.
Yeah.
Cameron Bancroft,
Yeah.
played for us 4 years ago. 4 years. Yeah.
Did you have much involvement with? Because he obviously played first team, but did you have much involvement with Cameron?
Dave did.
Yeah, he stayed with us.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well, just for the purpose of the video, because years to come, people think, who are they talking about? So it's the winter of 2017-18, and England are in Australia playing in the Ashes, and Cameron Bancroft's opening the batting for Australia. But Cameron was here as your overseas professional, and when was that? You tell us a bit more about it.
4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. Came and played with the first team. Kept wicket at the time. We were short of a wicket keeper. We put the feelers out, and we came out with a young Australian lad who kept wicket.
How do you source that sort of player
His
then?
agents.
Right.
Well, we knew one that we'd use regularly, got a good working relationship with. We tend to like the Australian lads because they're up for it, they're keen, they want to play. They've got a set goal. And Cameron came over and he sort of brought that and took it through the club. He was a first team player, but he'd help lads in the 14, 15, wherever they needed. If he could help somebody, he was very good.
So he'd been very young then, presumably, because he was only
18, 19, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was 18, same age as youngest, 18, 19 at the time,
Right.
Yeah. But he got a fixed goal. He was going to play for Australia.
Really? Was he successful at Denby?
Yes, yeah. He got a good average, can't remember.
I think I took him to Lord. My stepson got a trip to Lord's from coaching with Paul Collingwood.
Oh, right.
And I said to Cameron, "Do you fancy coming down?" Because he'd never been to Lord's. And I rung him up. He come in. He says, "Yeah, pick me up in the morning." So I said, "I'll pick you up at 7:30 in the morning." Got there a bit early, about 7:10. He'd already been to the gym.
Yeah.
Ran to the gym, done his
Really?
session, ran back,
Yeah.
and got in the car eating nuts and things like. And you could just—his whole work ethic. Whenever you saw him doing one to Dave, it was just focused on what the end goal, what he wanted to do, and which now is achieved.
Yeah.
What other overseas have you had here then that you've played alongside? Any that have gone on to similar successes, or?
Before me, I think.
I don't think so.
Nothing to play international cricket, I don't think, is there?
At the risk of sounding rude, and I promise you I'm not being rude, but you are all advanced in years, you're not teenagers. So what is it that keeps you wanting to keep playing? I know cricket allows for that, but what is it that still drags you back year after year, dusting off your kit and wanting to play the game?
I think it's the camaraderie, isn't it? It's the team spirit, and you're still enjoying it. I think no matter how old you are, if you're not enjoying it, then it becomes hard work, doesn't it? If you're enjoying it, you still got a good bunch around you, and you're competitive.
Particularly the style of time playing that time, the fifth team captain, and we're only one or two clubs that have ever had a fifth team. So
Yeah, I noticed from your honours board, it just seems to go on and on, doesn't it?
absolutely. And one of the main aims of the fifth team is to bring the real younger generation through. Together with the dads, so it's a real dads and lads team,
Right.
and it's got a really good team spirit. And some of the guys here have played for the team and have remarked what a great team it is to play for, because everybody gets on so well. They love the game. If we've lost. It's not the end of the world, and it's a really good team spirit.
But it's also bringing the lads, the younger lads through again. There's some that played in the 5th team last year. They'll be playing in the 4th team this year because they're progressing that way.
Yes.
You know, and they'll get a flavour of the odd game in the 3rd team. You know,
I think I'm not fussed about playing it, but no, obviously one day you will listen.
keep saying it.
But the games I do play, I enjoy catching up with guys and Neil, who's had to shoot off and things like that. Seeing people that, like Paul Fark and Garry Fark, who when I first started playing, which in 13 might have been 13, which was like 28 years ago, and they're still playing now. And it's just good to have that catch up, isn't it? And you still go back to stories about when you played 25 years ago and things like that. It's just.
Do you tour,
about
by the way?
playing,
Do you tour? Have Denby ever
Tour?
Yeah,
No.
you on tours?
There was one many
You have
years
toured,
ago.
yeah.
Just the one?
We haven't done it recently, no.
We can't went to one to
We
Norwich.
do a
did you?
tour every Friday and Saturday night.
Was that round? Where's your local? Ripley, is it?
I carried on playing because a lot of people I met through Denby and other clubs, they become friends.
Yeah.
So sometimes it wasn't always about the cricket. Sometimes you turn up and it was where we go tonight.
And going forward then, I mean, you've obviously to stage in your careers where you're still playing, but you've talked about these young, particularly talking about the dads and the lads team and what have you. Is Denby's future in good hands, do you think, in terms of your youth and what will your roles be when you don't play anymore? What do you foresee yourself still being involved at Denby?
It's hard to. You never forget a place like this. I don't play as much as I used to, but you still get dragged up here. Not physically, but you still. It's like a magnet sometimes.
I think it's good to come up on a Saturday and you
Yeah.
walk around and you see team, especially there'll be games where you're playing against people who used to play for, and they've got people of a certain era, and you just end up sitting on a bench and having half an hour and talking about things from the past and things like that.
So we've got some future chairmen amongst us, future
They're
secretaries.
very difficult shoes. They're difficult
Chairman's
shoes
a
to
very
fill.
shoes to fill.
The guy who's chairman now has set a very high standard. I don't know.
I don't think he's ready for packing up anytime soon, do you guys?
He doesn't let us pack up playing, so we're not going to let him pack up being chairman.
In case you didn't know, I'm chairman.
Oh, you really?
Yeah. I've been for
Not long enough.
10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it challenging being chairman?
Yeah, a
still?
little bit.
You do?
Yeah, it's good. You get to see these guys, don't you?
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, I'm going to go down the road now and ask you, you put your pressure on you first, these guys will have more time to think about it. What's been your career highlight of all these years you've been involved with this cricket club? It doesn't have to be a successful one, it can be a laugh, it can be a drink. What's been the moment, is there any one thing you look back at and think, blimey, that was good?
There's been quite a lot, and not all of them are things that I've necessarily been. You know, I got a hat trick bowling up here. That was always something quite rare. Playing you. Sometimes I always got used to get quite nervous on a Tuesday night when I used to hit the sides. I was never one thinking I was guaranteed a spot. So
Right.
I guess the highlight was every Tuesday.
No,
Sometimes in your early days being picked to play.
Yeah.
And then when you were getting in the first team and weren't sure if you'd done enough in the last game, so it was always just being part of it really.
A lifetime of
I got married here.
Really?
Yeah, so it's been a big part of my life for a long time.
Lovely.
I think it's a difficult question because you look back to when I was playing a lot and I scored a couple of hundreds, and I think I got a 95 in the second team or something like that. I remember actually getting bowled on 99 against local rivals Mare. But then, like from not playing as much and looking after junior teams, and you see teams like on 17s and 18s teams who've come through and done really well, and I'm not sure if they listen or not, like Dave said earlier, but it's good to see what they've done, and you've hopefully had some input in not just the way that they've played and performed, but some of them the way they've grown up and learn how to act around cricket fields and cricket clubs and things like that.
Yeah, lovely.
I think from a personal perspective, batting wise, my very first century, always one to stick in the mind. 100 not out, I hit that off 20 overs.
Where was that at?
That was at Amblegate. And I also took 4 wickets and 4 balls, so that was a big thing for me. But I think from a team perspective, something that sticks out in my mind all the time is when a youngster's playing and they hit their first 50 or they've hit their first 100, and I can say I was there when they did it.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for me.
Chairman?
Well, mine's got a bit personal one really, and everybody knows the story, but Mick Glenn was
Not
captain.
again, Not again.
Mick Glenn was captain, and he declared when I was on 148 not out.
Oh, well, we're talking to Mick in a bit, so I might have to
remind
ask
him, he'll remember it.
And it was 3 runs short of the highest fourth wicket partnership in the league. He only needed 3 more runs and he declared.
We were playing at Charles Hill because
Who was this against?
Langley Mill. Yeah,
Who were your biggest rivals, by the way? Who your Mayhay or?
See, mine was always the team you were playing against that day. I never really had.
I suppose it feels a bit more like Bear at the moment.
But that's more through
Langley Mill are always a big push when they play, yeah. But Mick had nipped home for some plates for tea. Came back, saw the score and declared.
Well, gents, it's lovely to chat to you, and the time just flies by like that. We've come to the end of this particular one. Thanks ever so much for sharing your recollections. It's been really interesting.
Thank you.